dual meet that happens in conjunction with the gymnastics meet. But again, how about that upcoming stretch, Tony? Missouri and Iowa State like that.
Well, again, I mean, the Big 12 has 3 teams in the top 5, and West Virginia's going to wrestle them within the next couple of weeks. So
Austin Cooley battled some rib and high ankle injuries over the last year. Redshirt junior out of Somerset, Massachusetts, is 10-7. They'll take on Mays, Kansas's Kyle Haas, who's in for Luke Serber today, who's been coming back from injury. Got his first action in over a month on Friday, but because he's coming back from injury, they're taking it easy with him. And Haas will go today. Won by tech fall. Or his last bout, he lost by tech fall against Oklahoma in the Southern Scuffle, finished as runner-up in the Southern Scuffle. So Haas trying to pick up another win for John Smith's Oklahoma State Cowboys.
So when you're in these positions, both from a team standpoint, the dual meet itself is well in hand, right? I mean, so Oklahoma State wins the dual meet no matter what happens these last 2 matches. The issue for these guys is to do the things you need to do in order to win the match for yourself. You can add some team points here and there, but that's not really the point. But what may happen, though, from that standpoint is when you're talking about tournaments, those team points mean something. So these matches all mean something. And
well, if you're Haas, you know, this is an opportunity to go in a spot that usually belongs to Luke Serber. So you're trying to prove yourself. You're trying to maybe showcase what you can do when you get a spot.
When you have your chance, you got to take advantage of it as best you can. And Cooley with not a very good shot, sort of stuck his face in the mat.
Haas makes him pay.
And
Cooley's trying to get an arm in and a leg, but losing his grip.
Well, he's going to try to pick up the far leg and see about rolling it through, more than likely. But Haas has the near leg. They're each going to lift the leg, and I don't know if we're going to get a stalemate here, maybe. Yeah.
Tim Flynn said of Cooley, he's a single leg stand-up guy, but he's got to execute. He's got to keep his level down.
So part of what he means by that is you're flexing your knees, right? So you're not bending over the waist. And so what happened in that last shot was, yeah, he has a nice single leg, but what happens is he's sort of penetrating, moving downwards as opposed to at him or parallel to the ground. And you're from a physics standpoint, nice job with the takedown there and the spin around. You want to go back to physics like you were talking about earlier. Your energy and your power is going in the wrong direction. And now I have to sort of stop and turn in order to get to where I want to be, and that just destroys all your momentum.
The takedown for Cooley, it really seemed like he switched strategies midstream. He was kind of going for a cradle, and then he wrapped around. What led to that, Tony?
Well, it just does a nice job of reading it, right? So a little snap down, he tries to reach around the corner here, and he's just going to keep spinning and spinning. Haas's head's down on the mat, which makes it hard for him to turn with him. And Cooley tries to pull him forward as he does that, and that's the way you get that takedown.
Our producer today, Eric Lilly, director Scott Bartlett, our fine ESPN Plus crew. On hand for this one at the WVU Coliseum today.
I know, I'm just trying not to be the weak link in that whole thing, right? I mean, it's competitive out there.
There are some strong links in our chains.
There certainly are.
Cooley 7th in the Big 12 last year, and an NCAA trip for him. To his feet. Haas has the leg.
Pretty well, right? He does a nice job turning into him. And this is just like that kind of that straight leg. He's going to get a warning.
Cooley split like a first baseman.
Right? Sort of a straight leg kind of counter, which is hard to get to the side of a lot of times. But what he's going to end up with is a warning for stalling because Haas can't move up off the leg. Now, that's good in one sense, is that he gets the warning for stalling, but it also stops you from being able to get either the escape in that situation or maybe get a reversal and then re-attack. And like I said,
it's a compromise.
Right, and like I said, those little things make big differences in the outcomes of matches.
Well, in basketball, they call that turning defense into offense.
Well, exactly right. So, and when you're looking at the matches that we just watched, those are matches where everything is an opportunity to score. If you shoot, I score. If I shoot, I score, right? I mean, that's basically it.
Right. I believe that's how the Mountaineer men beat Texas last night, turning defense into offense.
That's what happened. That's the way to do it. And so Cooley just spending some time on the bottom. And I haven't met a wrestling coach in the country that would highly recommend that. I mean, Haas doing a decent job on top, not really putting in anything that's threatening Cooley in terms of turning him. But we're going to get ready. Warning for stalling on top.
We're actually going to get a point.
Well, that's the second time, but
yeah,
because the second warning. But so the rule change has been you have to work to turn somebody, and you can't just ride them. But Cooley was kind of based out, not really trying to get out either. I'm not sure about that call necessarily.
Between that and the change of a takedown from 2 points to 3 points, the rules changes this year were clearly intended to put more scoring into wrestling.
No doubt about that. I mean, when you think about it, most rule changes in every sport are designed to increase scoring in some way, right? And this is definitely one, yeah.
Much to the chagrin of baseball pitchers, defensive coordinators in football, and so on and so forth.
Playing defense gets harder and harder. So in wrestling, defense is offense, offense is defense. It doesn't really matter. What we're trying to reward is people taking risk. Take risk to go out there and do some things, calculated risks, and get yourself in a position to score.
Some of those changes, a 3-point near fall new, change in takedowns that we've seen, and I haven't heard anybody from the Coliseum scream 2 in a while. Maybe they've learned as well.
They did
early on. Early on, we were hearing 2 and 3.
Right, yeah.
But we need a controversial decision here so we can see if they've learned. So if we see a chorus of 3s.
Fair. That's fair. So Cooley spending some time on top now too. Haas kind of flattened out. And each guy seems to be pretty content in letting the other guy just beat on him from the top. I mean, doesn't, you know.
And only a minute left in this third period. Haas is the guy that's got to do something. The deficit is his.
He does. I mean, from a chance to win standpoint, I'm going to guess the Oklahoma State coaches are going to wonder, well, is Cooley doing anything to try to turn him? Because we got warning for stalling there. And he's kind of parallel. Why he called warning for stalling on the bottom? I don't know. Yes, true. How fair is that? I don't know. Neither guy's really done a whole lot in the last 2 periods.
If a picture could tell you 1,000 words.
There's a warning on top, right? So
yeah,
it's almost like a double stall.
If a picture is worth 1,000 words, I feel like the one we just had up of John Smith was worth a couple thousand, maybe.
Yeah.
That was a very memeable picture of John Smith. Austin Cooley in double figures in wins this year, looking for career win 34. Fans watching the clock, Cooley watching the clock. And Austin Cooley moves to 11-7 this year and 34-22 overall. Austin Cooley wins over Kyle Haas. What did you like about it?
Well, obviously wins the match, right? So does enough, gets a takedown, does those things in order to win the match. Would you like to see him be a little more aggressive?